Welcome back to Cheaper Pop Culture, the only show on the internet that has an unhealthy obsession with the idea that Thomas and Martha Wayne would have just ended up cheating on each other and raising Bruce to be a spoiled, rotten brat. You know, if they didn't get shot. I mean, statistically, wouldn't it just be fair to say that they'll probably have lived the lives of a stereotypical, miserable, rich family without having something to galvanize them into having a greater purpose? Then again, for all we know, maybe the comic books are just telling us things from Bruce's rosy retrospective. Maybe his parents were really pricks, and Bruce was just too young to know about all the sleazy, tawdry, nasty affairs that they were having, and all of the corrupt things that they did with their money. And you know, no one wants to point it out to him. There is that fan theory that Alfred might really be Bruce's dad. Just saying, you never know. Now, continuing with ruining Batman, so many people will tell you that Dark Knight is the greatest movie ever made. And while I do like the movie myself, it's fine and all, I also do feel that there are a few things that need to get crapped on just a little bit more. Plot holes, logic gaps, these things just happen in movies. Films are fiction after all, and that's what makes them fun. If any movie was completely realistic, it would be totally boring and without any semblance of, story structure. However, sometimes movies do occasionally go in the opposite direction of all that. Some films choose style over substance and have scenes that happen at the expense of the logical flow of the story. Kind of like when you have a friend that really wants to talk about something, so they just interject it into the middle of a conversation with no rhyme or reason. Well, in this case, movies are a lot like people, because sometimes a film has a really cool line or a very cool scene that they just want to put into the movie so badly that they plop it in a really cool way and really just hope that no one notices. And yes, like it or not, The Dark Knight is super guilty of that. How so, you ask? Well, let's just Batman begin. When the Joker introduces himself to the gangsters during their little daytime group therapy session, he proposes that they kill the Batman, and that they should pay him half of all of their money in order to do it. Now this isn't the main thing here, but I do want to point out that when they ask him how come he hasn't killed the Batman already, he says that if you're good at something, never do it for free, but as cool of a line as that is, how would you know you're good at killing the Batman? You've never done it. Anyway, back to the real thing. Later on in the movie, after agreeing to hire the clown, they pay him half of their money, which he sets on fire. But for what? Why did they pay him anything? He proposed to kill Batman. He didn't. He even made a point of saying that he didn't want to kill Batman.
I don't want to kill you.
But yet, he still got paid anyway. Now fine, he did manage to get Lau. This was apparently his goal all along, according to Gordon.
He wanted me to lock him up in the MCU.
That's Major Crimes Unit, not the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Although, knowing what's coming next for DC movies, I wouldn't entirely blame him if he wanted to switch sides, so... Anyway, getting Lau wasn't the deal that they made, and definitely not worth giving up half of all of your money for. Lau was one of the gangsters. He was just holding their money for them. They didn't have to part with any of it if they just got Lau out of prison themselves. Now yes, Lau was gonna roll over on all of them, but if at some point in time what the gangsters hired the Joker to do had changed, well, I don't know, they could have included the audience in on that, just worth a shot. And speaking of the Joker's plan, he straight up says to Harvey Dent right after Harvey becomes Two-Face, oh, by the way, did you ever notice that in both The Dark Knight and in Batman Forever, people call him Harvey Two-Face? Why do they do that? His real name combined with his fake bad guy name? No one else gets that. You don't hear anyone saying Otto Dr. Octopus or Oswald Penguin. Anyway, he straight up asks Harvey Dent, does he really look like a guy with a plan when he clearly has had a plan this whole time? Now fine, this could all just be chalked up to the Joker being so crazy that he doesn't really remember anything correctly, or maybe the Joker was just lying to get out of trouble, but here's the really crazy thing. It worked. So let me just get this straight. The Joker murdered Harvey Dent's fiance and almost kills him too in the process. But Harvey doesn't kill the Joker when he has a clear opportunity to do so because, well, the Joker told him that it wasn't personal and that he really doesn't look like a guy with a plan. Oh, but that's right. The Joker first tries to say that he was in jail when the charges went off, so it couldn't be him.
I was sitting in Gordon's cage. No, I didn't rig those charges.
Your man. Your plan.
However, Harvey doesn't buy this at all. He immediately says that it must have been the Joker's men and the Joker's plan. In response, the Joker uses his version of the what had happened was gambit and says, do I really look like a guy with a plan? No, not even. No, I didn't do it, just, do I look like I did? And somehow that "these are not the droids you've been looking for" move works. Then to follow that up, the Joker says, "Why don't you give anarchy a try?" Now, just imagine that. You kill someone's girlfriend, and then when they're justifiably pissed at you, you say, "This happened because you had plans." Try not having a plan. Step 1, don't plan on being pissed at me. Leave it to chance. And when they leave it to chance, you say, "Hey, you see that? She didn't die again. Told you so." And if all that wasn't stupid enough, Harvey then becomes set on killing Gordon's family because, well, Gordon also had plans. That's a bit of a level jump, wouldn't you say? And lastly, let's end with the beginning. Yes, I know, that's pretty strange, but what doesn't kill you makes you stranger, right? But by that logic, I guess it means that a ton of things make you stranger and nothing really could possibly make you normal then? Back on track, the Joker gets to deliver this really cool line by pulling off his clown mask to reveal that it was him all along. But that's not the first time in the film that he was without his droopy face clown mask. The movie begins with him standing on the street waiting to be picked up, and he has his clown mask in hand. This means that he was there on the street with his Joker makeup already on when the rest of the gang got him, but yet they talk about him wearing war paint and talk about getting their orders to kill the other gang members from the Joker, which all makes it kind of vague whether or not they've met the Joker before.
6 years. Don't forget the guy who planned the job.
He thinks he can sit it out and still take a slice. I know why they call him the Joker.
Although, if they didn't meet him, that means that they got their orders to rob a bank from someone that they never met, and I don't know, that doesn't sound like something you should trust. But if they did meet him and they saw those scars, then how come they didn't notice it was him when they picked him up? Well, that does it for this one. I could keep on going, but I'm sure some of you would cry if I did. So instead, I'll just say, adios, motherfucker.